Welcome everyone to this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program First Contract. This is episode 10 and Jeb is orbiting the Mun. And very nice it is too. But we can't stay in orbit forever. We have to get down on the surface to get our science. And then we need to get home. So I reckon we are going to land somewhere in this area because it looks fairly soft, smooth, well, not cheese I suppose, but gravelly, maybe gravelly cheese. So let's land somewhere here. So let's just plonk a manoeuvre node down to give us a little bit of something to aim for. Let's position Jeb's craft accordingly. Now it's only 81.5 meters per second, so that's not going to be much. Then we'll just adjust our landing position as we get a little bit nearer. So there we go, just line up the reticules there. There we are. Let's go and see what Jeb can see and get ready to fire those engines. So we got 1 minute 53 and it's a negligible burn, so we'll go round about 1 or 2 seconds. So let's speed up time and get to our manoeuvre node. Hopefully Jeb's been enjoying himself, he looks like it, but we've got some work to do. We need science to complete our contract, and we've got just 2 parts left to do, to land and then recover the science. That should be dead easy, shouldn't it? Of course it should. Right, there we go. Fantastic. Okay, just so we can remember which way we were going, let's rotate our craft. I like to rotate so that we're either going to have the ladders facing the way we're travelling or the way we've come. Now, because of where Kerbal is in the sky, let's get ourselves light side round. So let's rotate just about here. Whoops, too far, come back. Here we go. That'll be better. Well, at least Jeb will be able to see when he gets out. Okay, let's remove our manoeuvre node. Don't need that now. All we've got to do now is get ourselves down. And let's lower the gear just so we don't forget. Now we've got plenty of fuel, but remember we've got to use that fuel to get back as well. So, where do you reckon? I think we're going to miss this area here. And it looks like it might be a bit rocky over here. So maybe we didn't choose such a great landing spot. But let's see if we can't land here. So let's up the thrust. And basically chase our retrograde reticule until it is facing directly down. Not too much. Don't want to end up in this crater down here. We want to end up somewhere over here. Just see the scatter appearing. Okay, looks like we're going to come down in here. That's not too bad. Slowing nicely. Our rats. Hopefully we'll be on. This is not going too well. There we are, going straight down. Whew! I arrested that. Now, our shadow is going to be over there. There it is. And we want to be going 1 or 2 meters per second when we meet our shadow. Here we go. Bit fast. Done it. Bit of a slope. That was okay, I guess. And we have landed on the Mun, so that's 3 of our 4 parts. Whew! Well, there you go, Jeb. You're here. I think we'll F5. That wasn't the best of landings, because I think we're quite a way up. 3,800 metres up. That was a bit higher up than I expected. Whew, dear. Right, okay. Well, let's do some science, because we need some science before we go back. So let's observe some mystery goo. So that's 40 science if we... The goo is as giggly as a schoolgirl. I don't think that's really politically correct. But there we go. That's fine. We'll keep that. We will do a crew report, which is another 20 science. Now we can transmit that. So let's transmit it. And we should... There we go. Transmitting the science. We've finally completed that contract. All we've got to do now is get home safely. And we're laughing. So let's observe the materials bay while we're here. So that's another 100 science, so we will keep that data. And now, for the moment of truth, Jeb, you need to EVA. So let's do an EVA report. Another 24 science, which we can keep and transmit later if we want. But let's get down on the surface. Now, like I said before we launched, we haven't quite got enough ladder. But we'll just jump that last bit. There we go. Made it. Fantastic. There we go, Jeb. You're here. And I think a selfie is in order. What do you reckon? Happy enough? Brilliant. Well, let's get a surface sample while we're here. 120 science. The ground appears to be made of very small, sharp, abrasive pieces of grey rock. It would probably be best if you didn't rub your spacesuit against this stuff. Yeah, well, it would get a bit mucky, and it looks a bit mucky as it is. But there we go. Let's keep that data. Let's plant a flag. And then we've got to think of something witty to put on the plaque. Oh, and it's round the wrong way. Great. Mun Base Alpha. Good old Jeb. Yeah, if only you could work out which way around the flag was supposed to go. Still, we're here. So I think it's time to go home. So, let's see if I can embarrass myself by not being able to help Jeb onto the ladder. There we go. Excellent. Looked like a pro. Didn't even have to use the jetpack. See if we can get in without falling off. Whoops. There we go. Brilliant. Well done, Jeb. Great job. Now we've got plenty of fuel still left. Now I'm going to take an F5 because it can still go wrong. And all we need to do now is get up into a decent orbit. Now we lined ourselves up so that this was more or less in our direction of travel. So we're going that way. So let's up the throttle and lean over. Gear up. And let's go more or less in the 45-degree east direction. Until we get up to, I don't know, 15, 20. Safe distance, basically. Give us time to circularise and get ready to go home. There we go. So let's plonk our manoeuvre node. Let's plonk our manoeuvre node. Come on, manoeuvre node. Round we go. 60, 17, a bit too far. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. Let's make sure we are more or less in the right position. 20 and 18. Perfect. Okay, so let's get ourselves onto our blue reticule. And we have 381 meters per second of delta V. So let's close that. And let's get our Kerbal Engineer up, because our Kerbal Engineer is going to tell us how much delta V we've got. We've got 860, so I reckon we've got plenty. 13-second burn, so we'll go on about 7 seconds, plus 7. So let's speed up time. Here we go. So throttle up on the 7. 8 and 7, throttle up. See our orbit expanding. Get ready to kill the engines. There we go. Marvellous. 24:17, a little bit over, but it doesn't matter. Now let's focus on curbing, because that's where we're going back. And what we do, well, yes we are, but we need to get our manoeuvre point first. Manoeuvre node even. And what we basically have to do is just slow down, which means thrusting in sort of this direction. So let's start with the manoeuvre node here, about 18 minutes to go, and let's just extend our orbit in that direction. So where's our periaps? 19, so it's coming in. 16, 830, 600, 200, 27. That should be perfect, and it's only going to take us 282 meters per second, so that's even half of our delta V. And it will take us inside the atmosphere, so drag, gravity, all that kind of good stuff will sort out our landing. Now, we'll end up landing on the dark side, but hey, we'll have landed and we'll have completed all these lovely contracts. So there's our full Explore the Mun contract. Look at that. 1.2 million funds. Wow! We get 30 science as well with the Explore the Mun, and the landing just gives us extra reputation and a bit of funds. That was pretty good. We are doing smart. So with 9 minutes to go, that's apoaps in 9 minutes to go. Wonder why this said 17. No, we've got 17 minutes to go. So Jeb, you've got a little bit of time to catch up with your reading as we speed up time. So we've got 9-second burn, so we will go on the 5. Now we've yet to line up on our blue reticule, so we'll leave ourselves a little bit of extra time. Coming round. Slow down time a little. Right, let's get ready. Use the ghosted reticule so we know the shortest distance to go. There we go. Now, unlike when we were slowing down, the blue reticule should really line up with the prograde marker at the time we need to fire, which is exactly what it's doing. So, got 1 minute and 30 to go, so we'll speed up time again. So we're going on the 5. So there we go. 10, 7. Let's up the throttle and get ready to kill the engines. There. Excellent. Now we might have to make a slight adjustment because we just went a little bit over. But that's not a problem. We'll just speed up a smidgen. Word of the day. Speed up a smidgen just to bring our periapsis out. But there's not a lot left to do now. We don't need Kerbal Engineer. Got just a smidgen of fuel left, which is exactly how much we need to make a smidgen of a correction. So let's change sphere of influence. Let's say goodbye to the Mun. Take another shot for the album. and return to map mode. So the moment we come out of sphere of influence, we escape the Mun sphere of influence, we'll just adjust our orbit so that we don't we don't crash straight into the planet. That would be embarrassing after completing the contract. I don't think Jeb would be too impressed. Here we go. There we go. Lovely. So let's slow down time. Let's line up on our prograde marker and just extend just a little bit our periapsis. There we go. 42, a little bit too much, a little overdid it. Should have been concentrating. We've got plenty of fuel. I say plenty. We've actually done pretty well. We're pretty dead on. So that was pretty good science there, Jeb. Was it more engineering? I don't know. He was pretty good. Just smidging down. There we go. There's our 27. Absolutely ideal. So the Mun disappears into the distance as we approach Kerbin. Shame we're going to come down on the dark side, but at least we'll get a fireworks display as the re-entry effects take hold. So let's speed up time and return Jeb safely to his junkyard. Odd hobby for an astronaut, junkyard jockey, but he seems to enjoy it. So let's keep ourselves pointing retrograde. It's going to keep changing as we slide round our orbit. So we'll make a final adjustment to our orientation as we arrive home. So there's KSC, I think. No, I think KSC's just over here. That's the peninsula opposite. So we're going to be pretty much on the opposite side of the planet, which is a bit of a shame because we won't get much for our recovery. But we will put the gear down and try and save as much of this vehicle as we can. So we're coming in now. Kerbal is about to set. We're coming up on re-entry. Jeb's still happy he's coming home. Well, wouldn't anybody? Exciting adventure for him. So here we are, we're coming up on 70 kilometres. And we should see... There we go. Time warp has been halted, so let's just do our final adjustment and start plunging into the atmosphere. I don't think there's any science left to get with our other mystery gear. If there is, it's only a little bit. 1.6, we may as well get it. Every little helps. To do another crew report which we can transmit for 3.5 science, but we'll just keep it since we're taking the rest back. 46, 45 kilometres. This is about 30 odd kilometres, and that's where the atmosphere starts getting thicker and where you start to see your re-entry effects. So there we go, we had 20 litres of liquid fuel left. That was pretty good. Pretty good. Turn the SAFs off now. Let's just let drag and air resistance do their thing. So we're definitely going to be well within the atmosphere, so we're going to have no problems at all with skipping back out of the atmosphere. We'll be fine. This aero braking manoeuvre will work just fine. It's getting a bit hot in there. Good thing we don't have the deadly re-entry mod installed, or we would be in trouble. There's Jeb's view. Interesting flames they have on Kerbin. Still, I'm sure Jeb is enjoying it. The camera wasn't, but Jeb is. Yep, thumbs up, Jeb. So we are well within the atmosphere now, plunging into the atmosphere at over 100 meters per second. Well, very much so. Surface speed 1.6 kilometers a second. 1.7 still. Get my can't even read. Just about see some land below us. Don't know if we'll reach the land or we'll find ourselves in this shallow sea. But we will pop the chutes at about 10 kilometers as usual. There's no separator in here, so we're going to be taking the whole of the craft back. And hopefully we will get a reasonable recovery value. Yeah, it's going to be a bit narrow, this strip of land, so I don't know that we'll land on land. So it's going to be a bit of a splashdown, I think. But we'll see. Cross fingers, we might make it just over here. Effects are beginning to fade. Speed is coming down nicely. There we go. 600 meters a second, 14 kilometers up. Let's get the gear out while we remember. I wouldn't be surprised if we break some of the gear when we hit, but we did put these extra parachutes on, so maybe we'll be okay. And it's, you know, it looks like we might actually land on this peninsula. Good piloting, Jeb. Well done. Don't know where we are, but well done. Looks like we're over land. So let's pop the chutes. There we go. So now, I mean, we could try using our liquid fuel just to arrest our progress, but the problem with doing that is if you do end up going up, the parachutes collapse and then you've had it. So I'm just going to rely on the parachutes. Does look like we're going to come down on reasonably flat land, and we've got 6 parachutes. That should be fine. I mean, we're already down to 100 meters per second as it is, with 1200. There we go. 900 meters to go. Parachutes open 500 meters above the ground. So this is 200 meters up. So we're not too high up. It looks sparsely forested plains. Savannah maybe. Is there a crew report we can do? We could do, but we'd have to cancel the other one. So we will forego that. It would have only been a few science. Here we go. So probably another 300 meters to go before we touch down. 6.3 meters per second is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. You're almost home, Jeb. Almost home. So about 200 meters. So if we look inside, we should be able to see, there we go, radar altitude bottom right is 100 meters. Here we go. Looks like we're on a slight slope, but no more of a slope than we were on the Mun. So with our wide base, we should be okay. Here we come. Excellent. We are down. Fan-dabby-dozy. Welcome home. So with that, let's recover our vessel and see what we can do with all this lovely science that we've got. Let's have a double check of that on our mission report. So here we go, 319.1 science earned on this mission, so we've got 375 in total. We recovered all of the parts from the upper stage, including struts, batteries, illuminators, mobility enhancers. Fantastic. And of course, we recovered Jeb. Got a total of 800 reputation now. Didn't actually add very much reputation in this mission. Not from the actual mission itself. Obviously from the contract we added loads. But let's now go to the Science Centre and see if there's anything else we'd like to purchase with our 375 science. Now each of these is 90 science. We can, well, spoilt for choice. What have we got here? Let's start at the bottom. We've got small landing struts and wheels, but I'm not too keen on that. We've got lots of stuff to do with manoeuvring. We've got RCS ports, RCS tanks, bigger wing for aircraft. We've got capsules, a probe body, and a mech jeb tool. Now we're not going to use mech jeb unless we absolutely have to, but it's there just so we can chicken out if we ever have to. What is this? Aerodynamics, so you're talking basic aeroplane parts, so we're probably going to have to do some aeroplanes at some point, although I did point out I wasn't much of a aeroplanes person. So we've got, what have we got here? Control surfaces, tail connectors, small control surfaces, swept wings, tail fins, basic jet, fuselage, fuel tank and air intake. Right, what have we got here? We've got some larger rocket parts, large fuel tank, empty structural fuselage, large separator, and a couple of Rockomax brand adapters. These probably aren't that useful unless we get these larger parts. So I think we're probably going to do top down here. We're going to get this solid rocket booster and the larger skipper and poodle engines, and then these two larger tanks. So we're definitely going to get that one. We're going to get the other Rockomax related parts, which is this one, so we'll research that one. Now we've got the jet plane parts and manoeuvring parts. We'll take the manoeuvring parts first. And what do we got now? We need, well, we can get one more. We can either get all the plane parts, because that's pretty much all the jet plane parts we could ever want, or ever I want. But we kind of need the wheels as well. Now you can launch planes straight off landing struts, but it does seem a bit pointless. Do you know what? Since we can't get both of them, I'm going to get neither of them, because I'm not really a planes kind of person. So we'll earn ourselves another 90 odd science and then we'll get them both. What do you think? Answers on a postcard. Next episode I can either buy all the plane parts and cobble together an aeroplane, or we can wait and just do another couple of contracts until we've earned enough science. So I'll leave that for you to comment in the comments. Now if there's anything else you want to comment on, my commentary style, any types of contract you'd like me to do, anything you think I can improve on, put that in the comments as well. But until the next video, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.